Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to this new series on my channel. In this series we're going to be working on Scratch and we're going to be coding a maze game. And to start off, I'm going to show you an example of this one that I've made. And you get your main menu from your level selector. But in this maze game that we're going to be making is you get to move your character around. And then if he touches the color black, that's the walls, you lose a life. And your time, so if you run out of time by the time you get to the third level, or however many levels you made, it's game over. And then you try to collect coins, and then once you touch the flag, it's going to send you to a new level. So let's get started by creating a new game. So once we create a new game, we want to create a new sprite. So to create a new sprite, you have to click the paintbrush, and it says paint a new sprite. And I think you can just make a circle. I think that's the best thing to do. And once you fill in that circle, yeah, that's a bad circle. Let me fix it. So you want to make this is going to be your main character, or whatever, and you can make it any color you want. You just want to make a circle or whatever shape you want. And then you can make it as big as you want or as big as your level is. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. And then first of all, we want to make a backdrop. So to create a new backdrop, you click on the backdrops over here, and or you can click backdrop. And then you have your default one. You just want to leave that alone. And you could do paint a new backdrop. And then once you do that, you can delete the first one. So I think the backdrop is just like a background. So I'm going to make my background green. And once that's done, we want to do this. In this episode, I think we're going to be focusing on the character's movements. So for the character's movements, we're going to say, we're going to do the forever. That means it's going to be constantly looking for the script. If the right arrow is pressed, then it will point direction right, and then it will move how many steps you want. And then we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to say left arrow, moving direction left, and move how many steps, and then up arrow, and then we're going to do up 10 steps, down arrow, direction down, and then 10 steps. So when we do this, your character can move. So right now I'm pressing the up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, and you get it. So that's the character's movement so far. And since we got that done, we're gonna do the walls of the backdrop. So we're gonna head back to our backdrop. Let's just name it gameplay or whatever you want to name it. This is just what we're gonna do level 1. So once we do that, you want to make your maze. So I'm gonna make my first level, the level 1 maze, pretty easy, because the player's getting it's the first level of the it's the first level, so it's gonna be probably pretty easy. So you just want to make lines, or it could be any color you want. I'm just gonna make mine black, and you just want to make a simple maze or whatever you want. So I'm just gonna make my maze like that. And then so now we got that. But since we don't want our character to spawn in the middle of the maze every time, so we're gonna put the when flag is clicked, we're gonna say go to, and then we're not gonna do that yet. We're gonna move our character to the start, and then we're gonna click on this, go to, and it will already have like the coordinates where it's gonna go. So say we end the game there, we press the start, it'll automatically go to the start. So we want that. So yeah, so we got our movement in our on start function, code. So that's a basic, and then we are going next. We're gonna do the detection. If it touches the wall, it'll lose lives. But first, we gotta make the lives. So we're gonna click on data and click on make a variable. We're gonna call this variable lives, and you're gonna leave the rest. Just name it lives. And then we're gonna also on the start, it's gonna set lives to 10. You can make it whatever you want. So it's gonna set the lives to 10, and then we're gonna make a when flag clicked forever if touching color, and then you're gonna click on this box, this colored box right here, and then click on the black, and then it'll just switch the color to that. So it's saying if touching color, then we're gonna do change lives by -1. So that means if it's gonna touch that, it's gonna change the lives. But then once we don't want it to stay there. We want the character to go back to the start. And when we do this, go to that's the start. So when we move it around, we can just go around. And when we touch block, you lose a life. So now we have 9 lives, and we get sent to the start. And yeah, you should lose a lot of lives. But we want to make it so when flag is clicked forever if, and then we're gonna go to operators and then click this, the box equals box, and then we're gonna go to data. If lives equal 0, then we're going to where is it? Stop. This isn't the control. We're gonna stop all. That means it's gonna stop all the scripts. But we want first. We don't want that. We want to say game over. We want it to say that first, and you can make it say it for how many seconds, and then after that, it's gonna stop all the scripts. So when we do this, it's gonna say game over. It's gonna stop all scripts. So once it stops all, actually I think, yeah, we're not gonna use the stop all. Forget about that. But once that happens, it's going to send us back to the main menu. So let's make the main menu really quick. So I'm just gonna make the color say yellow, and then you could just make the title whatever you want it to be. And yeah, so let's call this main. So when we on the start, we want it to switch the backdrop to main menu, and then once the backdrop switches, so then you go to events. When backdrop switches main menu, you want this to hide. Yeah. So we want that to hide, and then we also want, we're gonna duplicate this. We also want the lives variable to hide variable lives. But when it switches to, when the backdrop switches to level 1, we want it to show. We want it to show. Yeah. Oops. Just wanted to show. Sorry about that. Okay. There we go. So see this, the yellow is the main menu. So see nothing's there in the main menu. So we want to create a button that says start. I'm actually gonna make this pretty cool. Let's see. Oops. I make this button. You can make it look like whatever you want. Just make it might look like this. Start. And there we go. So we want this. We want this to go to the center. So we want it to forever motion go to 0, 0, 0. That's the center. So it's forever going to that. And then we want on the on start for it to show. And then when backdrop switches to level 1, which is the game, you want it to hide. So it's showing since it's the main menu. We also want it to, when backdrop switches the main menu, show. So yeah, but that's not doing anything right now. So we want it to do, when this sprite is clicked, switch backdrop to the level 1, which is the gameplay, and then we want this button to hide. So what that's gonna do is whenever we press this button, it's gonna switch backdrop to level 1, and then it's gonna hide. So see, whenever we click it, it hides, and then it brings us to the first level, and it shows our character and our lives. But I think that's all we're gonna do in this episode. Next episode, we're gonna work on like the flag, the next level, maybe the point system, and then yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next episode. Bye.